CodeOcean's data tool is a single place to manage all your data assets in the cloud and from any other source. We can use these data in computational work while tracking lineage, ensuring reproducibility, and reducing data duplication. In this video, we will take a look at how the data tool works in a handful of different ways, including adding data to CodeOcean, managing your data in CodeOcean. We'll also look at how data works with the rest of the features on the CodeOcean platform, such as attaching your data to your capsules and pipelines, searching for data, sharing data with others, and looking at result data provenance. So first, let's take a look at how to bring your data to CodeOcean. Because CodeOcean installs directly into your AWS virtual private cloud, there's no need to upload your data anywhere if it's already there. And if it's not, when we upload data from our own machines, we're really uploading it to our own AWS S3 bucket. So let's take a look at what that looks like. We'll go to Add New Data from Local File. I have a sample text file ready to go here. Now we want to give our new data some metadata, so including the name. So we'll call this example data upload. Folder name. This is where the data will be found when you've attached it to a capsule or a pipeline. I'm just going to call this example 1. We'll give this a simple tag, text file. Click create, and soon we'll see it on our data dashboard. Here it is. We can also connect to our S3 buckets, so both public buckets, private buckets, whether it's owned by you or not. So there's 2 ways we can do this. Let's open up new data from AWS S3. So we can either connect to an S3 bucket and bring that data directly into our CodeOcean bucket. This renders it immutable and is great for guaranteeing reproducibility. That's the first option here, to import. And the other option is to link to an S3 bucket. So this is fast, it's convenient, the data stays exactly where it is, but it does mean that we cannot guarantee reproducibility because this data can be changed, it can be moved, it can be deleted. So let's do an example of this. Our bucket will be CodeOcean public data, and the path will be example data sets. Specifically, we're looking for DE-seek2. This is not a private bucket, so we'll toggle this off. If the bucket happens to be private, we have full support for your credentials as well as support for AWS IAM roles. So the whole system takes care of that for you. Again, let's give this metadata. So this will be example AWS. I'm going to call the folder example2. Let's give it a tag DE-seek2. And this time, let's go ahead and give our new data some custom metadata. So this is something that the admin of this deployment has set up for me already. Let's choose a species for this data. We'll go ahead and select mouse for this. And now we need a project ID. So I'm going to call this Super Secret Project 123. Now let's go ahead and create our external data link. All right, just like that, our processing should be complete. And there's the new data from AWS. Now, there are some other ways to connect to data. So some other sources we support are AWS Athena. We also have Databricks, and the create system looks something like this. I won't go through this example again, but you basically get the idea. You can also bring in data, basically anything that you can connect to from a CodeOcean capsule. In addition to what you see in this list here, we are also adding more and more built-in data connectors in the near future. In addition to searching for it in the search bar up here, we also have custom metadata filters. So let's go ahead and I assign this mouse custom metadata. And here is the example AWS data that we had just created. In addition, we can open any of these examples and see information about our data at a glance. Very easy to share data with other users if you have permissions to do so. Here is the share window. Let's say I want to share this with my colleague Ian. We can go ahead and set permissions for what others can do with data. And next, I will show how to attach data to a capsule or pipeline. So let's hop over. I have an example NF Core RNA-seq pipeline here. We'll go take a look at the data folder, and there's a button to manage your data. So right now we can see that there are already 3 data assets that are currently attached to this pipeline. Just as an example, let's go ahead and attach the data that I just created, the AWS example, as well as the data upload example. We'll close it, and now we'll see In the data folder, we now have example 1 and example 2 that I just added. Now, we also produce data when we are working CodeOcean. So we can actually take any of these data and convert it to a type result, which creates an immutable record and a lineage graph of how it was produced. So we have an example of that if we take a look at the timeline of this pipeline. So this was a pipeline that I ran. Here are the result files here. We can see FastQC, multi-QC, star salmon, etc. And here is the result data that I created from it. Go ahead and open that up. We have here all of the result file, all of the metadata that's associated with the results, and we also have our lineage graph. So here's an example. We have 3 input data assets going into our RNA-seq pipeline. Here's the final result. If you have any questions about how data works, please make sure to take a look at our documentation or book a demo with us to get a little more detail.